Hello everyone, welcome to another video. In this one we will actually begin our library project and learn about lists in the process. As you can see, I have my File Explorer open. Let's go make a new folder and we can call this library in Python. And inside we open that up and we can go ahead and add a new Python script. And let's call this library and let's open it up with Donnie. Give Donnie a second to boot up and there we go. Now that you have the library open, let's talk about how we want to make a library. And obviously we want books, and we could do this like this. You could have like book 1 and set it equal to something, and you could have book 2, make it something else. But there is a faster, much more efficient way. This is where lists come in, where it will clearly get very tedious to have then book 3, book 4, so on and so forth, right? Rather, we can make one list and we can call it books. And to make a list, all we need are brackets. And inside we can put all our books. So let's just use I don't know. To kill a mockingbird. We can have the old man and the sea and the Lord of the Rings. As you can see, we can now store multiple values, 1, 2, and 3 in one variable. Cool, so this is great. If I print out books, you can see what happens. See that we get To Kill a Mockingbird, The Old Man, the Sea, and Lord of the Rings. And we can also make lists using other types, so we can also make like an example list. And we can make a list with like numbers if you want, or we can also use like floats like 2.05. And we can also have text, like you saw above. And we can also mix this up so we can have multiple different types of variables inside one list. And as you can see, it works out just fine. I can print ex and get that. So cool, that's that. Anyway, now let's talk about some list functions. And let's say we want to add a book. So we want to add a new book. Well, we can use a function called books dot append, and then in parentheses the name of the book we want to add. So let's add The Hunger Games. And if I were to print books before and after, and then print books after, you see that before we have 3 books, and after The Hunger Games has been added, and now we have 4 books. Cool, so that's how you add a new book. You can also remove books, and to do this we can use books.remove, and then the name of the thing, so we can just do The Hunger Games, and this will remove The Hunger Games. So if I print books now, you'd see that The Hunger Games has once again been added and then removed. Cool, so that's how you remove a book. Next, let's talk about getting a specific book. So this is great, but what if I want to know what the first book in my library is called? And this is something called index values. So we can print book 1 is, and then books, and we want to get this first book. So we will add brackets, and inside the brackets put the index value of that item. And index values in Python start at 0. So this one is index 0, this is index 1, and this is index 2. So if I put books 0, that will give the first item in the list books. I will print that. You can see that I indeed get book 1 is To Kill a Mockingbird. So that's how you access a book. And now let's talk about what if I want to remove a certain book, but I don't know what the book is called, I just know where it is. So let's say I want to remove the first book in this list. I don't know what it's called, but I know where it is. Well, we can remove an index. And to do this, we do books.pop. I then insert the index value. So To Kill a Mockingbird is index value 0. And this, if I run this, and then print books, you'd see that To Kill a Mockingbird is gone. We only have The Old Man and the Sea in the Lord of the Rings because To Kill a Mockingbird is index 0, and index 0 has been popped. Likewise, we can also insert books. So the append function is very useful, but it only adds things to the end of the list. And let's say you want to add things to the start of the list or the middle of the list. Well, then we can use the insert command. And once again, just books.insert, and then start off with the title. So let's insert To Kill a Mockingbird. And let's insert it at position 0. Oopsies, I messed these up. Put your index value first. So at index 0, insert To Kill a Mockingbird. And now there we go. So now when I print out books, you see that To Kill a Mockingbird has been inserted at the very beginning of books. Great, so that's all the different list commands all done. And now let's talk about some general list commands. And the first one is only applies with list of numbers. So let's open up a shell. And zoom this up. Okay, cool. Now let's create a new, we can call this test. And let's make test have the values 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Cool, so if I print out test, you can see the test once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's say I change up the values. I can change the order, and I can go 5, 3, 4, 2, 1. And once again, now test is this. But let's say I want to sort this out from least to greatest. Well, then I can do test.sort. And now if I print out test, you see test has been rearranged from least to greatest. Cool, and now the last thing that we can talk about are splicing lists. And splicing is kind of like cutting and pasting, where you're picking a specific part of the list and you only want that part. So to splice a list, it starts the same way as getting list values. We can do test and then our brackets. But instead of having one number, we have two numbers. So let's say we want to get objects 0 through 3. So this one has an index value of 0. And you want to go all the way to 3, which is 4. So we can put a colon and then 3. And this will take all the items from 0 to 3 and make a list out of them. So if I hit enter, you'll see that the new list that we can get is 1, 2, and 3. So 0, 1, and 2. And the last number, the 3, is not inclusive. So the 4 does not count. If I want to include the 4, let me rewrite this and add 0 to 4. And now we get those, because this number is not inclusive, so the fourth index value 5 does not count. And we can also skip numbers. So let's say I want every other number in range 0 to 4. So we can do test 0 to 4, but I want to skip every other, so I only want every second number. And now we get 1 and 3. It skips the 2 and it skips the 4. I can make let's make this test slightly larger. So we'll do test equals, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Slightly bigger. And now we can once again test. And let's start at 0 and head to 10. And let's get every other number. And as you can see, we get 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Every second number. So we count this one, don't count this one. We can get every third number by doing test 0 to 10, 3. And now we get 1, 4, 7, 10. Every third number. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 7, 1, 2, 3, and then 10. 1, 4, 7, 10. And let's say that I don't want to leave out any numbers. I just want to get all the numbers, and I want to ignore these first two. We can just leave them blank. We can do test, a colon, and then 3. And this looks really confusing, but it's just leaving blanks here and here. There's no number to start, there's no number to end. Just every third number. As you can get the same thing. And we can do the same thing with any other value. For example, let's say we want to start at 5 and go to the end. We can just do test 5 like that. And now we're starting at index 5, which is number 6, and we're just going to the end. We have no stopping value and no skipping value. And once again, we can start at the beginning. So we can skip the first value to start at the beginning. Let's go up to 5 and then have no counting value. As you can see, now we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And number 6 is index value 5, so we skip that one. We're not skipping any numbers, we're counting up by 1. And we're not starting over, we're starting at the very beginning. And that is that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you do. And next week, I'll see you then.